what we're really trying to focus on is actually getting it onto the roof in the little nooks and crevices where you might have a accumulation of leaf litter and where the embers can land. But if you can get a little closer in on there, you can kind of see it's not quite the contiguous coating that we were hoping for. Again, just playing with it. But you can come down here into the vegetation that surrounds it, and you can see the buildup of gel on there. We'll start out with a low intensity flame, not necessarily directly impinging, but just casting some heat on there. And we are at the 1 minute 30-second mark. Now again, the thing to remember is if something were to catch fire, let's say you had some brush on there, initially it's going to burn hot, it's going to burn all the leaves out, and then what's left of the brush is going to be just a residual heat, so the intensity is not going to be there. So if you're understanding me correctly, you know, you got brush lined up right against your structure and that brush catches fire. Initially that heat's going to be intense, but then it's going to lessen, it's going to burn off. And so all we're trying to do is capture the embers for the most part. The direct flame impingement, that's the homeowner's responsibility to make sure that they don't have any brush right up against their structure, that they do have defensible spacing. So again, we've treated, and granted this is ice plants, but everything underneath it is dead and dry. What we're just trying to show is that even with direct flame impingement and us just lobbing the gel onto the ice plants and onto the surrounding vegetation, it's not even sustaining any kind of heat. It's just smoldering, smoking, and that's it. We have not received any kind of charring on the plywood. Kind of trying to disperse the heat evenly throughout the board. And you can see that there is no charring, no significant charring whatsoever. So any kind of ember that lands on your roof is going to essentially be put out and extinguished by the gel that you've, since either you or the fire department's lobbed onto your structure. Again, what we're using here is a propane torch, and I mean, I can feel the heat from where I'm standing. Significant amount of heat, no charring whatsoever on the wooden surface. And we liberally applied it on there. We understand that, you know, when it's time to evacuate, you're just basically gonna spray and pray. But again, you can see on all the surrounding vegetation that it's on there. You just really can't see it on the wood itself unless you look really closely. Then and only then can you actually see where we applied the gel. We applied the gel probably about a good 15-20 feet from this piece of plywood. No charring, no heat. Go ahead and increase the heat now. After we've already had this heat going on the plywood for approximately 4 minutes. You got significant heat on there. I'm gonna have to back up a little bit because I'm actually feeling the heat. But again, minimal charring, and that's now, we're pretty much at the roughly the 4 minute mark, 3 minute mark, correction. And again, so that the homeowner knows we're really trying to capture the embers. And I think by this demonstration, anything that lands, any kind of firebrand or any kind of ember that lands where we sprayed the gel, it will not sustain fire. So with that, we'll go ahead and conclude this this little video demonstration.